Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have a re-thrift flipping video. I re-thrifted my already previously thrifted table, if that makes sense. My kitchen table gets a lot of action. Well, not really, in the sense of it doubles up as a workbench, or it has done until I made an office bench. So I had to redo my kitchen table because, as you see now in the video, it got absolutely bashed, chipped paint, and just completely, it just got wrecked. I wrecked it basically. But the good thing about being a DIY goddess is I can fix what I wreck. And that is what we're gonna do in this week's video. I am gonna get straight into the video. Here is what it looked like before and here is what I did to it. So here is a before of my table, and you know what, it actually doesn't look kind of like that bad. But when you actually are kind of sitting at it, so we'll start with the tabletop. So as you can see, there's loads of like nicks, paint. Like we've got paint, more paint, nicks from when I was bashing something, more paint, more paint, and just like random kind of scratches and nicks. So I really want to change, like bring this back, but it is, I'm gonna have to sand off all of kind of this. Then when you look at the table legs, so the paint chipped relatively soon after I painted it. So this is like from people like putting their feet on it. By people I mean me. And then I just have like nicks and chips. It's like really dirty. And then down on the legs. And also that big paint splash, that's from when my nephew spilled a tin of paint on himself, which again, totally my fault. So this is kind of how it's looking. Like, it's not dreadful, but lots of chips. The paint did not stand up how I wanted to. Now, you're on the table. The paint I used originally was Dulux Satin Wood. I think it was Antique White, which is cream. Antique White is never white, it's cream. And I don't recommend it. Let's call a spade a spade. I painted it about 5 years ago probably. The kitchen behind me was painted with other paint and that has standed up to the test of time, but these table and chairs didn't. So the plan is strip the table back to wood. I've allocated a few hours to strip this because I know stripping paint is not fun. Now, if you look behind me, there's a chair. I started stripping with a chemical stripper, but not one of the strong chemical strippers, one of the kind of eco-friendly ones. And it was, not that it was a disaster, but to get the gooey chewing gum. So when you put the, let's say, eco-friendly chemical stripper on, it bubbles up like normal stripper. I left it for like an hour, even though the tin said half. And I started to scrape it off and not all of it was coming off, and as I was scraping it off it was turning into chewing gum, and I then had to rinse the chair, but rinsing it with warm soapy water I still have goopy bits on it. I ended up getting the good sander out and sanding off as much as I could. So I'm using my heat gun, and that is why I'm using the heat gun. So I will have my hair up mask on for the heat gun. If you remember, I stripped a blanket box last year and I used the heat gun and it was grand. So I'm staying away from the paint stripper just for this, because I know I can quickly strip this with the heat gun. I'm literally gonna put on a podcast. I have my phone somewhere and I'm just gonna put music on and a good podcast and just go off into the zone and paint. So that's me for the rambling, but that is the plan for stripping the table, the heat gun, scraper, protection. So I'm at that part of the project where I feel like this is going to take forever. but I haven't even done like this part of the leg. I've done this part of the leg. For some reason, do you know what's ironic? This paint chipped, right? It was really easy to chip, but it's really hard to remove with the heat gun and scraping. And I'm like, the irony, you chip easy, but then when I go to take the whole lot off, it's really hard. Anyway, if you can see the piece of wood here, I also opened the door as well. Use loads of ventilation when you are using a heat gun. Now that paint that I'm covering over is like a satin wood. It was a low VOC, but just if you're ever using the heat gun, it can make toxins. It can like put fumes into the air, so use your mask. And window, door, open the door. So I've just lightly sanded this. So as you can see, it's like an orange pine piece. But I've just taken the top layer of that orange kind of varnish off, and this is the wood I'm left with underneath. And the plan is to use a white wax on the wood. So I'm not going to be repainting this wood. I'm going to wax it, but it's going to have like a white kind of hue to the wax, and it's going to get in all of the knots of the wood. So you're going to see the grain and everything, but it's going to have that kind of washed effect. And then the wax will protect it as well. So I'm trying to bring it back to original but nicer. This was when I was painting everything white in my life phase of life. I'm not stripping the chairs, not a hope am I stripping the chairs. I think I'm gonna paint the chairs pink. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to it, but this is progress. Now to tackle the rest. But this is laborious, oh my god. So I have it, as you can see, actually that is the orange of what it originally was. So it was like that orange pine, then we painted it white, and now we're at this lovely sanded back kind of wood colour. You can see it's really hard getting into the nooks, so I have to hand sand in between them. So this is what I'm looking like. I just need to flip it and finish the curve. The curve is what's kind of hard and what's taking the most time, and then just in the little nooks. I suppose I have made good progress, but I'm at this like 2.5 hours now. I kind of want the bottom to be done. Good morning, Miss Blondie. She's like, leave me alone. Okay, I need to actually turn the radio off. I have like the Love Zone playing. Does anyone else like listen to the Love Zone on a Sunday morning? So let's finish the table. I actually started it. You can see it's like two-tone. I'm just gonna turn, hi Blondie. I'm just gonna turn the light off so you can see. So I've got I'm using the wax. So this is the table with it just stripped back. So you can see it has that kind of yellow orange tone to the wood. And then here is the white wax. So I was just kind of testing it out to see. So this has 2 coats of white wax. This has 1 coat of white wax. So I'm going to go with the 2 coats. And then on the legs, oh Blondie. On the legs, you can see down here that, Blondie, you are so funny. You have to get your head in every shot. So down here on the legs, you can see that they've got that lovely washed effect, but I kept one of the bits undone so you can see the difference. So this is what it is before. So see the way it's like that yellow kind of colour? So that's what we're going to finish off today. I was just kind of waxing it after work because I know it can be a bit of a job. So I want to finish this off today. This is the furniture wax I am using. So it has like a tint in it, I suppose. So it's a white wax. There's actually loads in the tin. So I have done like half of the table and I've just over half a tin left, which is great. So it means I can do 2-3 coats on the top. So literally all I'm doing with the wax is, I'm not using a brush because I actually don't have a brush for waxing. I've got 2 rags and it's like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. So I put the wax on, give it 15-20 minutes to just kind of set into the wood. And then I just come along and I buff it. And when you buff it, it just goes really silky. So if you could feel the difference between this like bare raw wood and this, and it also means it's protected. So like if I was to spray water on this, it would take about 20 minutes for the water to dry and it would change the colour. Whereas if I spray water on this now has a layer of protection. So the water, it just would repel kind of off it, and it means you can wipe it and clean it and look after it. So also just looking at the wood as well, I've been able to sand back most of the dings and chips that I had caused from when I was using this as a workbench and a kitchen table. So most of the little bits I was able to sand out. Anything that's left, it'll just be character now, I suppose. Like the likes of these little cracks, the wood, the white wax will get into the detail of that wood. So I just love the way it kind of picks out and you still have all that detail, but I've just made it nice and light. So let's finish this table. I also know that it's like the end of January, but I'm still in my Christmas slippers. Like the Christmas slippers are staying on. So my table is looking much better now. I decided to just stick with the bare wood texture because I have a Pinterest board of like kitchen inspo, and I was drawn to anything that was a bit more natural, and I feel like it gives it a bit of texture. So like years ago I went through the habit of painting everything. I still do paint everything, but I wanted to keep this like just wood, if that makes sense. But I obviously don't like the orange tone of pine, so I just went with a nice whitewash on it to make it look a bit more farmhouse kind of country. I'm thinking like something you'd see in a little French chateau, and I can style up with some flowers and stuff. I found a picture on the blog from 2014 was when I originally got this table. I remember getting it. It was €50 for a table and the 4 chairs. I got it off that secondhand site. Is it ever? €50. I'll pop in a before picture of what I originally looked like. It was super orange. And then I obviously painted it and done the white base with the whitewash top, and now I have just left it wood. Now I have a question for you guys. What colour should I paint the chairs? I'm thinking really light pink, because I think this is the year we changed to kitchen cabinets and we have a pink kitchen. And now when I say pink kitchen, I am thinking like really blush pink, not like fuchsia pink. I'm thinking like this teapot may be pink. It's probably too bright. I'd probably even go more pastel to this. This is like my favourite teapot. I have a few, but this one's one of the faves. Anyway, I get procrastinating, Jesus. So I will pop all the details of what I used in the description box. I'll also have details on the blog as well. I did strip an old project, I'll pop it here, that might interest you if you are stripping furniture. I stripped the trunk last year and that's held up really well, and I'll pop a card here if you want to check that one out. So that's me for this week. Please thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share, and all those little things help support my channel. So even if you don't comment but just give it a little thumbs up or a share, that is much appreciated. I will catch you all in next week's video. Let me know what you think of the chairs, what colour, and I might tackle them. There's also a travel video coming up really soon as well, so keep your eyes peeled. I will see you all next week. Bye.